Wormon! Oh, I still have a cold. Maybe this movie. Maybe this was the final thing. To cleanse my soul from this planet. It was great! So Sonic 2 was a thing that happened. When Sonic 1 came out, it was pretty likable, it was passable. It's kind of annoying how everything was so, like, whitewashed and apple-looking and bland. But, I mean, there's a nice foundation to go off of. Jim Carrey was kind of annoying as Eggman and very Jim Carrey-like, and just like he is in all of his roles. Just can't help himself, but... My fucking memory card was full. Oh, everything is going well today. Gotta watch Sonic 2 for the rest of my life. But yeah, Sonic 1 seemed like it was gonna be a decent foundation. Jim Carrey wasn't too Jim Carrey-ish. It seemed like a passable Eggman. But oh boy, did that change for this one, Charmy! You think that overdid it? Well, just go fucking see Sonic 2! I'm all hopped up on lots of Diet Coke. Giant fucking cup of it. I'm actually legit angry. So yeah, like I was saying, it seemed like they had a foundation to really build things off of with the second one. And somewhere along the way, they kind of got ahead of themselves. Really fucking far. Like when you fly a kite and you cut the string and the kite just disappears because it just got too far. Because, yeah, the humor is really fucking overdone. Like, goddamn, it's so off the rails. That train hit a fucking penny and did a 360 no-scope fakie off the tracks. It feels like the movie could have been so good. They could have done so much. It feels like they were on the right path. And then... somehow they got lost along the way. I think the success of the first one made them think like, hey, we can write funny things. Humor, we're good at that. They're not. They're not. You know what? I'm not very confident in myself, but I'm better than that. Cat. But yeah, like, the movie is ruined by too fucking much. It's like Minions level. You get to see like 20 trailers for Minions. Fun fact, we saw Doctor Strange first earlier today, and we saw not one but 2 Buzz Lightyear trailers. And we've seen the Minion trailer twice because it was during Doctor Strange and then this. And the humor in this is not far off. I felt it's not Michael Bay level, but I mean it's kind of Michael Bay level. I'm not saying it's a Michael Bay movie, but I'm saying it's a Michael Bay movie. It's just the humor is too far, and every frame is so dense. Every frame so much. It's coarse and it's rough and it got in my pee hole. And there's like a wedding scene at one point. Tom's... I don't remember anybody's names. I just remember Tom because he's Cyclops. His wife's sister? Oh, her name's Rachel, I think. She's having a wedding, which, surprise, everybody involved in the wedding is actually gun agents that were trying to get to Sonic because he's been fucking things up, trying to be a vigilante, like to the point that the government's getting kind of mad. So the whole wedding was a farce anyway, but once that's revealed and the wife, Rachel, well, I guess she was a fake fiance, shut up. She was all enraged and trying to hunt down the fake fiance and the gun general, who, by the way, acts about as well as the butler man from the Spider-Man Raimi trilogy, who I think was like a family friend they hired, because if you see the outtakes of that guy, he can barely put a sentence together. Like, I don't think he was okay when he filmed. And this guy is like right up there with that level. No offense, I'm sorry. This movie ate my soul and now I'm gonna shit on the walls. But when Rachel is confronting Gunn about this, it goes on for like 10 to 15 minutes. And it's kind of like my problem with some of the Godzilla movies that have been coming out in America, how there's like too much human shit. Like there was too much focus on that. That's what a fucking Sonic movie had. Too much focus on the humans. How do you do that? Why do we care about this wedding? I don't care about how mad she is. They do a whole Bridezilla joke, and she's like fucking driving a cart through her altar and blowing it up and drinking, and she's got Tails as weaponry and is fucking things up, and there's dumb jokes, and this all goes on too long. There's a joke where Tom accidentally switches a wedding ring with one of Sonic's rings, and then Sonic has to call while he's in that snowboarding scene, and he's like, hey, I need your help, teleport me out of here, and that's Tom's like, oh, the ring, it's on Rachel's hand, it's about to be, so I'm gonna go punch the groom and get it, because nobody's listening to me. Let's drag that on for a few minutes before he actually does do the punch. And he gets the ring, Sonic teleports in with an avalanche chasing him, and an unconscious Tails, ruins the wedding. Gun's like, surprise, we're Gun. Give us them anthropomorphic aminals, you fucks, and you're under arrest for aiding and abetting their bullshit. And they're dumb jokes every other goddamn second while Sonic's being a superhero wannabe, making stupid jokes the whole time. But yeah, Bridezilla, Rachel, there's a lot of focus on them and the wedding being ruined before they even go to like really save Sonic and Tails from the Gun compound. And humor is... it happens. Tails' gadgets get used, and it's over the top. It's like 15 minutes of this. Wasn't I shitting on Eggman first? I was. Jim Carrey goes fucking mental in this movie. I mean, he does not rein in his performance at all. And I know he's bipolar. I'm pretty sure he was like officially diagnosed, and so he does have like manic phases, and he goes over the top really far in this movie. It's so... ugh. Like, I could tolerate it and actually grew to like him in the first one, but in the second one, he's always making quips and jokes and stuff, and being dumb, and he keeps saying, see you later, hater, and he flosses at one point, which I think is actually kind of making fun of how Sonic did it in the first movie, but he wouldn't know. It was more like a lampshading. And, like, he has some funny quips at times. Like, when he's about to betray Knuckles, he says, you're about as useful to me as a backstage pass at a Limp Bizkit concert. It's, like, relevant burn. It was a good one, but, like, who the fuck knows what Limp Bizkit is anymore? And he has some quips like that every now and then, which are funny. But it's... a broken clock is right twice a day, and an over-the-top Jim Carrey Eggman is funny twice a movie. Basically. But I'm not even funny once out of like 1,000 videos. And like when Eggman gets the Master Emerald, he seems like he's gonna go Dr. Manhattan at first, because he teleports to like the coffee shop that's a secret Eggman base that Stone, his henchman, who should be Sniffly, goddammit, but he's not, runs. He teleports there, and he's talking with like a kind of an Electro in Spider-Man 2 voice, and he's teleporting around, and it's you get the impression he's all powerful and kind of not as connected to humanity anymore. But then he just kind of goes back to being Jim Carrey Eggman. He's like, fuck it, I've already made it this far doing this shit, and might as well dial that bitch up to 12. And he does. I will say Knuckles and Tails were like cool in this movie. Tails was weird and stalkery though. Like, he's from another planet in the same galaxy, which I don't know if there are other universes or other planets. Like, how does this work? Tails is in the same world that Tom Wachowski is from, but Sonic's from another universe and Knuckles too? I don't know. But Tails is like spying on him from another planet and grows to like him because he sees him beat Eggman and do his fake superhero shit that pisses Gun off. So he comes to Earth to warn him about Knuckles coming because he somehow knows about that. And like it's touching, them bonding and stuff. They have moments. And then Knuckles kind of learns about Sonic, friendship and family. Sonic learns that being a hero isn't just about running around and trying to be Batman and shit, and trying to just use his powers when he wants to be cool. But he learns to take responsibility for everyone around him. You gotta do that to be a hero, and use your powers when they're actually needed, when the time calls for it. It was kind of like a great power, great responsibility speech without ripping off of it. on a boat from Cyclops, you know? Of all things. Fuck my life. Did I mention how mad I was after I saw this movie? I'll get to that. But yeah, like, there's some cool moments. Like, Knuckles turned into the good side, and Sonic's like, I'm positive and stuff, despite everything that's happened between our lineages, because, you know, you could still move on and find new friends and family. Because I guess the whole story of the Master Emerald was just that the Echidnas, the Echinonas, made the Chaos Emeralds fused together into the Master Emerald, and then Owls were like, hey, stop using that power, that no one should have that. And, you know, they killed each other, basically. So Knuckles hated the adopted son thing of one of the big owl ladies. And there's, like, moments where they're like, we both lost things. Yep. So they bond and, you know, they become a team, and it's pretty organic and cool. I mean, I would have liked more time, but we got about 15 minutes of wedding bullshittery. Didn't even get to learn that much about Gun or see that much about Gun. They just kind of roll up and point guns at things, really. And tasers. But there's a lot right here. They were on a good path. The first movie made a good foundation, and they could have made a really good second one. I had high hopes. I knew this could go this way. But I kept thinking, hey, if they just take the first one, tone it down a little bit, add Sonic Knuckles, add Knuckles and Tails, and Eggman coming back and using that giant robot and emeralds, we're in for a treat. There's gonna be action and fighting and stuff. And you know what? It was kind of a lot of dumb jokes and bullshit, and weddings being interrupted, and shirtless dudes playing volleyball. Minion humor everywhere. Fuck! Yeah, the final fight was kind of shit. That cool Death Egg robot thing. Eggman makes that using the Master Emerald, and he breaks a bunch of shit apart, Dr. Manhattan style, builds a giant robot, and then fucking chicken dances with it. There's all kinds of dumb humor. And he has Stone in there, and I guess Stone's like, I don't know how to pilot this thing, but aren't you all powerful, Eggman? What the fuck you mean pilot it? Use your telekinesis and power that bitch and run around to do whatever the fuck you want with it. Sonic makes chili dogs with it. Why did you need a man to pilot it? God damn it. Knuckles and Tails get to do a whole fuckload of nothing in that fight. Eggman does like a little walkie thing with his fingies, and Knuckles runs at it and punches the hand, and Eggman's like, I didn't even feel that. And then Tails is like, I got inside. And Eggman's like, you can't outsmart me. And he's like, I'm just here to distract you. Then Knuckles shows up and is like, I'm gonna punch you in the tum-tum and kick the Master Emerald out of you. And it falls out, and then there's kind of a cool moment where Eggman powers it back up with auxiliary power. And so he's just kind of normal Eggman piloting a Death Egg robot, and he's about to kill Sonic, who has been like, he was distracting it and kind of getting tuckered out because he was getting like lasered at a bunch while the other two got inside. And so the Eggman mech is about to crush him, and the family comes in and is like, no, we gotta save our son. The whole subplot was, you know, Sonic accepting he's their son, because he was kind of mad at them for giving the speech about power at first, so that he accepted that. So they come in to try and save him, and the Master Emerald's out there, and Sonic has it, and it like falls apart, and the little emeralds, they're tiny. I got emeralds that size somewhere, and I use them in my shitty videos at some point. They fall down, and he's like, oh, it's broken, I can't do anything, we're gonna die. And then he becomes Supersonic, which was cool. And he stops Eggman's foot from crushing the Wachowski family, plus Blue Hedgehog, who's now Yellow Hedgehog. And then that's kind of the end, because he just fucking destroys the mech after that. He cuts the head off, he like flies through it a bunch. Like Eggman tries to punch him and put up an offense and being all deceitful and shit, and Sonic just like stops that shit with one hand and then like does like a force push that annihilates each fist each time, because it's just happens twice, same fucking thing. Just annihilates the shit out of that thing, and then he starts flying through it and blowing it up, and then Eggman says, later haters, when it gets kicked back, and who knows if he died. He probably did. Eggman, actor man, retired. I wonder why. You helped ruin this, damn it. I mean, all you have to do is tone it down. They could have just edited. They could have just, you know, it's not entirely his fault. I don't think he liked the final product. Probably not the directing either. He's probably done and won a note to go out on. But yeah, that mech danced around, did a whole lot of dumb shit. Instead of fighting, Eggman did a lot of dumb shit instead of using his new Dr. Manhattan powers. There's dumb jokes every 5 minutes. More than that. This felt like Michael Bay humor mixed with Minion humor. I don't even know. I was so, like, I was laughing my ass off. I was with my friend who I knew was not enjoying it. And when the movie ended, I just started, like, I died. And then once the realization of what I'd done really sank in on the way home, I was getting, like, mad. Like, I'm wired and pretty legitimately angry right now. Because this movie could have been so much better. They had a slam dunk set up for them. They just had to add things to what they did last time. Because, like, Sonic and Knuckles, they fight a few times, but I think they were trying to save money on CGI. So they kept things sort of short. Tails and Knuckles, you don't get to see that much. Which is a shame. Knuckles was cool. They kind of overdid the humor with him being, you know, like, he was kind of a dumb bumpkin yokel who didn't really know much about life. Only knew about training and fighting. Could have done a whole lot more with that. I feel like we barely get to see them. Tails is in a coma for a good chunk of the movie. You had things. You had potential. I was even willing to look past some of the childishness because I was thinking this might be a kid's movie. And then Rachel talked about getting herself waxed in a place. She asked if that person was a gun soldier too. I was like, some of these jokes are not for kids. Even though I learned about that stuff when I was like 8. 6. Yeah, so I don't know who this movie's for. I don't know where they went wrong. Well, they went wrong when they couldn't temper their fucking humor glands. Stop excreting all over the goddamn script, you shitbags. Don't you fucking make another one. I'm tired of this shit. They baited Shadow at the end. I don't even know if I want. I didn't want to get this movie spoiled. I saw this in Doctor Strange. I was sick for a while, so I had to wait to see this. I made sure to see this in Doctor Strange 2, which I'll talk about when my blood pressure and hemorrhaging stop. You could have done better. You literally ruined the movie with humor. It was ruined with humor. That's my review. That is this movie. Put more Sonic and Knuckles and Tails to have fights. If I could kill the humans, we don't need anything of that anymore. We can get a new Eggman. It can be perfect. But then there's still the rest of the Minion humor. They gotta filter out. How can I go forward when they're making movies about hedgehogs?